My cousins from Florida are visiting the farm. I'm so excited, so I'm throwing a costume bonfire to celebrate. For a twist on a classic campfire treat, I am making red velvet s'mores. They're messy and moody, toasted Hawaiian rolls slathered with a cocoa-y red velvet butter and smushed with a homemade black sesame marshmallow that is torched by the fire. My fingers are getting sticky already just thinking about it. For the base of this, I'm starting with 1 cup of creamy cashew butter, which I love because it's so smooth. It also has a mild flavor, so it allows the red velvet flavors to really shine. This will get its red color from beet juice, 2 tablespoons drizzled in. The earthy, faint dirt flavor of beets goes really well with cocoa powder. Next, 1 teaspoon of Dutch processed cocoa powder, a pinch of kosher salt, a splash of vanilla. I feel like sometimes people think of vanilla and chocolate as opposites, but really, vanilla is like a supporting actor for chocolate star. And then a 1/4 cup of sugar. I'll stir this together and have some neutral oil standing by in case I need to add any of it to make it smooth and spreadable. This bread has the flavors of red velvet cake, which if I could sum it up in a sentence, I would say it has the whisper of cocoa plus tanginess. And it's this beautiful, deep, dark red color, which I mean, come on. Are you getting my costume now? I am red velvet. Can't wait to see what my cousins are gonna dress as. I am loving the consistency of this. Oh yeah, that's delicious all on its own. The chocolate element of the s'mores is done. I'm ready to get marshmallow in. Pan prep, powdered sugar and cornstarch. You've gotta have marshmallows when you're making s'mores, and these are fluffy forces to be reckoned with. They've got nutty, dramatic swirls of black sesame paste throughout, and they are awesome. I'll start in my stand mixer bowl where I've got 1/2 cup of cold water. I'll zest in 1/2 an orange, or as my New York by way of Florida family says, orange. And a 1/4 teaspoon of almond extract, whose nuttiness enhances black sesame, and a teaspoon of vanilla. I like to do the extracts and the flavoring here versus the other hot mixture, just so that the heat doesn't alter the extract flavor. And then 1.5 tablespoons, or the equivalent of 2 packets of unflavored gelatin, is what allows this to set up into their squishy marshmallowy selves. Just last night at storytime, Bernie was asking how to make marshmallows, and she was like, what gives them that weird texture that I've never seen anywhere else before? And I was like, it's gelatin, girl. I didn't tell her what gelatin is made out of, though. While this blooms, I'll make my sugar syrup. I've got a 1/4 cup of water in my pot here, and to this I'll add 3/4 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of corn syrup. Marshmallows are super sweet, there's just no way around that. And a couple of good pinches of kosher salt. And heat this until it reaches 240 degrees Fahrenheit on my candy thermometer. That, combined with the gelatin, is gonna allow the marshmallows to set. So last summer, a few friends invited us over for croissant s'mores, and I was like, what is this new s'more vehicle? It was so good. I loved the way the textures all went together. No offense, graham crackers, but they were actually kind of easier to eat than a graham cracker s'more. And so now I'm doing a variation on that and using Hawaiian rolls. So they're kind of like sliders, and then with the red velvet butter, they're gonna be so good and well-balanced, which I appreciate in a s'more. I'm excited about these. The temperature is climbing steadily. I'll get my mixer bowl ready on the stand mixer. The name of the game when you're making marshmallows is to always think 1 step ahead, because once everything gets going, it's gotta go kind of fast so that the marshmallows achieve their fluffiest, jiggliest texture. Okay, yeah, it's go time, baby. I'll remove it from the heat, turn on the mixer, and then slowly drizzle this hot sugar syrup down the sides of the bowl right into the gelatin. And drizzling it down the side of the bowl like this helps it cool down quickly. I'll gradually increase this to high, just being careful that the sugar syrup doesn't splatter. And once I reach high, I'll let it go for 7 to 10 minutes until the mixture is lukewarm and fluffy. This is when the magic happens. While this is going, I'm gonna get ready for the next step, because the next step happens fast. I'll pour a 1/4 cup of black sesame paste, like a darker, toastier peanut butter, grab my prepared 8x8, and an offset spatula to smooth out the marshmallow mixture, and it's gonna be quite sticky. So I'm gonna spritz it with a little cooking spray. Yep, baby. we have arrived in Fluffy Town. I wanna work fast now to incorporate the black sesame paste. I'm gonna scoop out just a few good plops of the marshmallow cream. If I were to add the black sesame paste just by itself, it wouldn't fully firm up because it doesn't have gelatin in it or hot sugar syrup. So I'll mix this quickly to get it fully combined. And now I'll plop this back in with the rest of the marshmallow mixture. Ah, it smells so nutty. I'll turn the mixer back on really quickly. I'm gonna blink, and that's it. I'll scrape it into my pan. Look at those beautiful swirls. Yum. Oh yeah, this stuff is so satisfying. I'll use my greased offset spatula now to smooth it all the way to the edges and into the corners. Gorgeous. Everything is going according to plan. I love it. And then dust the top with more powdered sugar and cornstarch. Okay, the hard part is done. I'll just let these set until they're firm for about an hour, cut into squares, and then I think I deserve a test run of a s'more. Just add fire, hot Hawaiian rolls, a generous plop of RVB, red velvet butter, and smoosh. Hello, I was born ready for this mess. I'm all about the nuttiness of the black sesame with that creamy red velvet butter. Red velvet never looked so good. For a super simple side that oozes with specialness, I am making a big old pot of pressure cooker beans and finishing them off with runny poached eggs and drizzles of spicy chili oil. This is so easy, yet so comforting. I just throw everything into my pressure cooker. I've got it on the saute function with some olive oil going, and I'll use the olive oil to soften up some onion and salami. The thing that makes me really crave a big pot of beans is adding a little bit of salty meat. This is a great thing to do if you just have a little wedge of salami or summer sausage or ham left over in your fridge. I'll stir these around and allow the onion to get soft and the salami to get crispy. Oh, it smells good. I'll toss in some garlic, and I'll sprinkle in some crushed red pepper. And I've got some dried oregano here. It's just like making soup, but kind of more concentrated and heartier. Okay, the oregano and the crushed red pepper smell like pizza right now. I'll get my beans. These are cannellini beans that I've rinsed and picked over, made sure there are no weird bits in here, and I'll toss them in. And this is what I love about cooking beans in the pressure cooker. You don't have to soak them overnight. I love to toss in a Parmesan rind to infuse this broth with umami and richness. A few lemon peels for brightness. A bay leaf is nice. It adds sort of a mild peppery herbaceousness. A couple pinches of salt. I like a lot of black pepper. And then you could use water, you could use any stock. I'm using low sodium chicken stock here. I like to use stock because you start off with more flavor and then you end up with more flavor. I'll cover this up and then pressure cook on high for 35 minutes while I get my eggs poaching. Here's how I poach eggs. I just crack them into a shallow pan of simmering water. The shallow pan allows you to keep a close eye on them as they cook. You just want to make sure that you gently lower them in because you do not want the egg yolk to break until the egg yolk gets into that pot of beans. And that way it kind of acts as a sauce within the beans. It gets so nice and rich. 4 for 4, no broken egg yolks. I'll allow these to simmer for about 3 minutes until the egg white is set, but the yolks are still runny. My cousins that are coming, technically they're my second cousin and then my 2 second cousins once removed. They are so great and always into like the latest trends. So they always give me style updates. We're doing a costume party because why the heck not? And I know they're gonna have fun with it because they're just those type of fun people where you can give them a wacky idea and they'll run with it. I'll grab an ice bath. This is just a bowl of ice water, and I'll use this to transfer the poached eggs into to stop their cooking and to keep them from getting firm. I wanna keep those yolks runny. I just look closely to make sure that all of that egg white is firm, but if I poke the center yolk, it's still quite jiggly. So that is a perfectly poached egg. I'll transfer it to the ice bath. And this is actually a step that you can do up to a couple of days in advance. You could just keep this bowl of ice water with the eggs in your fridge and then take it out before serving. And I'll just keep these here until party time. Let me check on my beans. They've been keeping warm. Oh, it smells so good. I can really smell the parm. I'll grab a bowl and dish some up to taste, just to make sure they're good for the cousins. Oh, these look really good and creamy. So cozy. This is exactly what you want to eat when you're sitting around a campfire. I'll add an egg, nestle that right in. Some chili oil is really lovely in these. It looks pretty and the spiciness tastes good. A splash of vinegar brings in the party. I love that brightness. Some flaky salt, lots of black pepper. I'm ready to see this yolk broken into. Oh yeah. Look at that ooze. I'll construct the perfect bite. That's no yolk. That looks good. Oh yeah. These are the most flavorful beans I've ever had. And that little kick of heat from the chili oil is great. This is a bowl of comfort, just waiting for my cousin.